Hey, real quick before we get into this video, tonight as of this video dropping, we have our first FB04 online client tournament. Link in the description if you guys are interested for it, and it should be a good time. So hope to see you guys there and enjoy the video. Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and probably my favorite leader in the FB04 meta is the new Majin Buu Evil that we got out of FB04. However, a lot of the support cards that deck gets also supports the Babidi leader from FB03. So I ended up going back in time. I wanted to check out what this leader looks like with some of the new support, and I was kind of surprised about how good this deck could be at times as well. So we're going to go over the deck in general. We're also going to have an example game at the end, and just kind of talk about the yellow Babidi leader that, again, I think a lot of people kind of overlooked in FB03 and continued in FB04 as well. But if you guys want more Fusion War content, make sure to hit that like and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. Also, if you want this deck list or any of my other ones, you can check out the link in the description for Eggman events. It has the team deck page, which is mostly just my deck list right now. Everything I've been working on, and I'm keeping this up to date as much as I can, and does also have the God rank deck list, the list that I use to get to God rank on the online ladder too for Majin Buu Evil. So again, that's my favorite deck. If you want to check that out, make sure to hit it in the description. But let's just jump on into the Babidi leader as it is. So what does this leader do? On the back side, it says on the front side, when attacking, draw one, and then it awakens at 4 to draw 1. And it is a Babidi Evil Wizard trait, which is important. And on the back side, we are Majin Buu. So we are Majin type. We have the Majin Buu name, and then also when attacking, draw 1, and also end of your turn, play up to 1 battle card with a cost of 2 or less, and Wicked Soul or Evil Wizard in their special traits from your hand. So being able to play a body for free every turn is really nice. It's at the end of your turn, which is arguably the worst time to be able to play something, but you still get a lot of advantage, and there is a pretty large card pool of great cards to play off of this. So generally we have 4 copies of Yamu, so it's just like an extra draw 1 at the end of your turn, which is really nice. We have Babidi, which helps you find about half your deck and is really strong as well. And we also have the 2-drop Babidi, which is a 10k, but also lets you search out another kind of subset of cards that you need from your deck too. So I think that's really strong, and there's a lot of great ways that you can play these cards at the end of your turn to try to get cards that you need for the next turn or to help you out in general. So I think that is a really kind of great value engine that this leader gets. And then also, if they don't get rid of your 1-drops, you do get some extra advantage with your Majin Buu Evil and Kid at the later ends of the game too. So I think that's really important as well. And we're going to talk about a couple cards that we're not using in this deck. Specifically, I know a lot of people are talking about Babidi's Spaceship. This is meant to be used with the leader, and the short answer is that the 2 energy to get this on the field is generally not worth the free stun every turn. It's only on a 4 or less, so there's a lot of things that just kind of cost out of this, and it's generally not worth it from my own testing. I know it is a Wicked Soul, and if you do want to play for it, go for it. I just feel like there's better things to do in our turn 2 instead of just playing this field that some decks can even interact with as well. But the general kind of game plan for this deck is to just try to get as much of value as you can. There's also kind of a bit of clunkiness with it too, with some of the new support. Half of it does need you to have a Majin traded leader. So for example, the 3-drop Babidi, if your leader has Majin in its special traits, which we don't on the front side, we don't get to the additional effect of playing another 3 cost. So you do have to wait until you're awakened for this ability. Similarly, we do also have the Majin Buu Kid, which you can't use its active main once per turn without being awakened. So you can play it early and you can attack with it once, but then if you're not awakened, you don't get the ability either. And then lastly, Majin Buu Kid, it doesn't really matter. You can just play anything whenever you want. This card has actually been very, very strong in my own testing, mostly because I think Majin Buu Kid is such a good card with it that you get so much pressure for 5 energy to try to end the game, right? If your opponent's at 3 life, you can have these 2 30k swings and then your leader swing, and if they don't get out of them, then if they take 1 of the damage, you have this 35k double strike just waiting on the field to try to get some advantage for it. But as I kind of mentioned, we just want to try to chill in a lot of ways. We want to try to just get some card draw, mostly with cards like Majin Buu Evil. I honestly think this is one of the best yellow cards that are in the game right now. It's also not restricted to literally anything besides just being a yellow card. So I've been thinking about trying it in Frieza as well as Cooler, and also as well as the Ginyu. There's just so much different decks that generate would appreciate this +2, right? It's really maybe +1, right? But you get to use one of your cards that you've generally already used. Like if you played a 1-drop early, you get to pop it, you get to draw a card and make your opponent discard a card. It's such a great amount of value, and it's great to just generate value without awakening your opponent. There are so many times where My 3-drop card only gets like value in a lot of other decks that if I attack into my opponent's leader, and by this just standing on the board active, a 25k 3-drop in most matchups is a little bit tricky for most decks to get rid of outside of blue. And because of that too, you do get to just discard a card from our opponent's hand every turn, and make it so if they want to attack with their leader, they have to attack into our leader, which is really powerful too. And so they have to awaken you if they want to get value, and if not, you just get the value from the Majin Buu Evil. The fact that it's also an activate main is really great because you do just get to ping it every turn, and there's even some times where I just use it on itself knowing that it will probably get removed on the next turn, so I'd rather just get the card draw and make my opponent discard one while I still can. So there's some real cool sequencing that this deck gets to do too, because you can pop stuff after you attack with it. You try to get as much value with your stuff as you can. So generally I think in the Majin Buu Evil you try to play this on 3 every turn to get rid or to play the Majin Buu Evil 3-drop and get like the draw 1 and discard 2 on your opponent's side. But in this build, Babidi is kind of more on a late game end where we just played off the 5-drop after we awaken, since it only it works when we're on the awaken side. So because of that, we're only playing 3 copies, and that's kind of the reason. So Majin Buu Evil is probably still our best card on curve, especially if we have like another 1-drop or 2-drop out. We're also playing the 2-drop Majin Evil, so we can use this effect to take a card from our life if we need to. Generally, I just keep it active as well, so our opponent has to attack into our leader, and then after that, I can use my 3-drop to pop the 2-drop, and then use that to rest something on my opponent's board. Then I can attack with my leader or with my Majin Buu Evil. It gets like a lot of value too, and just makes it kind of weird where they are at 5 life usually, and they need to awaken, but they also need to play a body on curve, and most decks generally can't do both, which feels really great. So that helps out the matchup a lot. Some other cards, we are playing the 3-drop Majin Buu. This is a barrier card. This is generically our best turn 3 play most times. The fact that we are able to just have this on board for the rest of the game does carry a lot of matchups, but it also is a little bit rough late game because it doesn't have any combo, so you do have to kind of worry about that. It is a 0 cost. It is searchable off the Babidi, so that is really important for us. It's not searchable off the Babidi. It is off the Babidi. The Majin Buu, real quick, in case you guys don't know, it only looks for Majin Buu. It does not look for Majin Buu Evil or Majin Buu Kid. Those are 2 different names, so this only finds this Majin Buu in this deck specifically right now. So looking at the top end too, so we do have Majin Buu Kid. We do have the 4-drop Vegeta. This is able to get some value kind of late game or mid game as well. And then there's just some times where I can attack with it. I restand it with its activate main, and then I just don't attack with it again, so I can get some value with it later. Energy Absorption is one of the best cards in this deck. It's super good, and I really like it in the Majin Buu Evil as well. But we can use this to get some, just kind of stall out a turn, which means we get some more advantage, and we can press some of our own advantage. And Final Explosion. This card is yellow's best removal card generically. We're only playing 3 copies of each because it is searchable off the Babidi, since it is a Wicked Soul card for both of these, but we do have to be a little bit careful on if we see it or not. So if you want to bump either one to 4, I think that's a fine idea as well, but that's generally just how I think 3 is fine with keeping the consistency the way we can. And the only reason like we need double Final Explosion is if we're playing against Jiren and we need to get rid of some 4-drops by playing both of them in the same turn. But again, the idea for this is that we just kind of stall out. We get value passively by, again, we have these cards that we can attack with once, and then we can keep them active and then just pass the turn after that. It means that our opponent doesn't really have a lot of removal inherently with a lot of our cards. And these just get value as we keep, churning them out every turn too, which is really nice. And then we just eventually play Majin Buu Kid. We can play this with our 3-drop Babidi, which again, if we're awakened, we then play one of our other 3-drops, and we just get super value from doing that too. So all of that I think just has a lot of great value. And then the last thing is at the end of the turn, we play out this Yamu, this Babidi, or this Babidi, and that just gets another card draw. It helps us find pieces, and it just means like this deck is really consistent. The worst thing about this deck is that this card is just not searchable in any way. So generally you do want to run 4 because it is important to see every game. If you want to put it down to 3, I think that's fine, but it is, again, you probably need this to win every game, because it does just have this explosive end game position, which I think is one of the best ways to end the game in this game right now too. So this is the build right now. Here's a couple cards I've been thinking about as well. 2-drop Babidi is fine. It's something that you can play off your leader. If you like playing the card, you can. Generally also it's just a barrier card, so it just sits on the board for the rest of the game, and then after that happens you're able to pop it with like one of your like your effects, so you don't have to lose that value either. We have Majin Buu Evil, the 3-drop. This one's just fine. It's a 10k, it's searchable, and you also get to like draw a card after you attack with it. It's fine. It's just like one of our, like, it's a bad card compared to the rest of it, but it's still a solid card that helps you just get some pressure and some draw. Son Goku, you could definitely play this card. It is generically one of the best cards in yellow in general. If you want to do like a 2-2 split between this and Vegeta, I think that's fine as is, because again, worst case, it's a 10k, but I do like this guy a lot. I just couldn't find room. I think Vegeta does essentially the same thing, but if you want to play this card, you definitely can. And then we got our Golden Freezes, the 5 cost as well as the 6 cost. These are just like generically the best end game cards in this game. Outside of, I think, like Majin Buu is not really generic, but if you want to be like super duper control-y, this card is great at doing that. There's a lot of decks that still play 5 or more. I think most decks do that right now. It stops Vegito kind of, because they do restand, but the fact that this just KOs something on play, it's a big 40k body. I think all of that's very strong in its own way. And then lastly, Babidi's Spaceship, which we mentioned, I didn't find like it was worth it. Again, I'd rather just get the tempo of playing something on curve for 2, and then like it just didn't really matter that much about stunning a 4 cost or less every turn. So I could be wrong on that, but I think that wasn't as necessary either. But again, I think there's a lot of different ways to build these decks right now, especially yellow. Yellow's, I think, very open when it comes to deck building and tech choices, but there's just a lot of great choices in general. So this is my current build for it. I hope you guys like it, and let's get to the example game. All right, here is our example game. It's against Alex, and we are playing against the Vegeta baby deck. So I've got me on the left with Babidi, and then on the right we do have the baby Vegeta. And again, baby Vegeta I think is one of the most popular, if not the most popular deck in this game right now. I don't necessarily think it's the best one, but I know a lot of people are on it right now. And we have a little bit of a lackluster hand for going first, but we are going to draw one and just probably pass, since we don't have a 1-drop, which is a little bit unfortunate, but we are fine. We do have our 2-drop Majin Buu Evil as well in a little bit, but they're going to attack 15 into our leader, and we're going to take it going down to 7. Generally, I think we're okay to just kind of awaken as we see it. Sometimes I do get like a 5k away if we need to, and we're going to actually charge another one of these energy absorptions and pass from there. So 15k to 15k, and going to go down to 7 life as well. We're going to play our Majin Buu and Evil. We're going to take the life. Actually, no, we're just deciding not to, since I think like Baby Vegeta is one of the stronger decks in this game when it comes to aggression. So being able to just kind of slow down the game a little bit and not take that life, we know that they have to attack into us right now, so we're just going to let them do it. And they're going to play the Son Goku GT here, so they are actually going to go down to 6 life. And add a marker, which is a little bit scary. It also means that I probably need to try to find a copy of the final explosion, but we're going to play out the Majin Buu Evil here, and we're going to use the effect to actually pop our Majin Buu Kid. This is going to mean that we're going to draw a card, and they are going to discard a card, and then we're going to use the effect to rest the 3-drop and then just attack into it. So they're not any closer to awakening either, which is really strong. So because of this, they can't usually awaken next turn. They're going to have to use a lot of resources, and they're not going to be able to play the card on curve like they likely want to. So they're going to go 15 into 15. I'm just going to take it. I would like to try to awaken on this next turn, so we are going to get a second super combo from our life. They're going to play the Great Ape Baby, which is a little bit scary with this 3-drop on the board, and they're going to play the Trunks GT, which is a bit of an obnoxious card as well. They're going to use the card effect to take a life, so they're still not going to be able to awaken. They're going to go 20 into 15. We're actually just going to take it right now. They're going to combo there, which we knew was going to happen, so we're going to awaken, and we do get the explosion, which is going to be really strong on this next turn. We're going to go Majin Buu here, and with that, we are going to get out of that attack. And then they're going to go 25 into 20, and I'm just going to let that happen and go from there. So we are at we're at 4 energy and 3 cards in our life. I'm going to actually attack into the trunks, see if they defend it real quick. And they will, so we will not be able to get rid of that. And then we are going to use the explosion, and I decided if I want to get rid of the 3-drop or the 2-drop, and I decided the trunks was a little bit scarier if they are able to play the Son Goku GT next turn, so we're just going to let that go away, keep the 3-drop out, which is a little bit unfortunate, and then end our turn. We're going to play the Yamu from hand for 1, and then the Babidi for 2. We're going to use its effect. And look, top 5, we're going to find a Yamu. So a little bit of extra draw power and just some extra value there. We can see that there's not a lot of cards in hand for our baby Vegeta player. They're going to have to play out the Bola for 2 to be able to go down to 4 life, which is really strong for us because that just means they're not playing the card they want to on curve, which is what we were wanting in the first place. So they're going to be able to attack with this. They're going to go 20k into 20. We're going to combo with the Yamu on board to go 25. And from there, they only have, again, 2 energy. They do have the Trunks, which is very strong here. Probably one of the stronger cards in this deck. They're going to attack 30k, and they're going to get an energy marker. We're going to just take that, since we don't want to use our super combos right now. And we just want to try to grind value. And they're going to 30 here. And I am thinking about taking it, but I think it's just best to not. So it's going to be a 35 to their 30. And they're going to finally go a 20 into our 20. And we're going to use that Yamu as an extra 5 getting it out. So they did put a good amount of pressure here. I was needing my 5-drop Majin Buu, so let's see if we draw it in the next 1 or 2. But that is, again, like why we run 4 copies of it. It is the best card in our deck, and we kind of need to see it. But we do end up finding the Vegeta, which I think is just better in this spot right now anyway. So we're going to play it out for 4. We're going to be able to attack with it 25 into 20. Just hit them down to 3. 3 is usually the sweet spot for us because then if we do end up getting our 5-drop Majin Buu, we get some good value. We're able to pop their 3-drop, and then we're just going to play out the Yamu for 1. Use its effect to draw 1, so we do get the Majin Buu Kid, which is huge for us. And at the end of our turn, we're going to play the Babidi there. And looks top 5, and we end up getting a 10k Majin Buu, which was a card I was playing earlier, and I ended up just taking it out for the 3-drop, no counter card, but in this spot, having an extra 10k is really nice. So they're ended up playing the Grade 8 Baby for 4 once again. They're going to use it to play out the 2-drop, and they're going to be able to attack with it. They're going to go actually 25k, so I'm going to use that 10k we just added to hand to get out of it. Very nice there. They're going to go a big 25, or sorry, 30, so we're already going to get rid of that since they did already make us counter 5. And then they're going to be attacking 20, 30 with this here, and they're going to bounce that Vegeta back into my hand. So we're in a bit of a rough spot, but I think it is going to be okay. We're down to 1, but we have so much value in our hand. Another 5-drop Majin Buu Evil that I think we should be able to press for game moderately easy this turn. So we're going to start off for playing the Majin Buu Kid here, and then we're going to use the effect to play out the 3-drop Babidi. And we're going to use the Babidi to play out the Majin Buu Evil. So very strong. We're going to go 30 there. They either take it or they do 2 cards. They do, so they're down to 5. So if we do pop the 3-drop, they don't have the discard associated with it. We're going to attack with the Majin Buu. It's going to be 20 into 20. And here's where, like, with them being at 4 cards, this was kind of a sneaky position, I feel like. So we're actually going to attack 35k 40 with Double Strike. They either take it, which they do, so they go down to 1, and then we can use the Majin Buu Kids effect to get rid of a card in their hand. And then we have a big old 30k to try to end the game here. So they're going down to 5 cards in hand. We're going to use the energy absorption as well, just to be able to get another card draw, since that is a 4 or less. It didn't end up mattering, but we're going to go 30, 40, 50, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85 to try to go for game. And it's 20 to make it to 40. They're going to end up using the Resisting Destiny, which I was a little bit afraid of, making it to 55. But then 6, 6, 5, and that is going to be it. So that's the game for us. I really do enjoy playing this leader. There are some obviously cool plays. A lot of it you can also do for the Majin Buu Evil leader as well. But I think a lot of people are overlooking this one, and I think it's a good time if you have it. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll catch you all next time.